Oh, hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 83 of our BU 365-day challenge. Do one thing every day that improves us in some way. Every day this year in 2022 or whenever you're listening to this, we are doing one little thing every day to make our life better, to improve us, to be better human beings. This month, this segment, we're focusing on our mental well-being, our mental health. And so today we're going to talk about thought triggers. What the heck are they, and how can we use them to our benefit? Because as I was thinking about thought triggers yesterday and today, this morning especially, I realized that a lot of my thought triggers are negative, and negative thought triggers react so much more quickly in me than positive ones do. I'm not sure if that's the same for you, but I just noticed that in myself, that if I think something negative, I will run with a negative thought trigger much faster than I will run with a positive thought trigger. Now, it could be because I've got a cold and I'm feeling under the weather. And that's one of the things that can impact our thoughts and trigger us to feel or think a certain group of thoughts or start thinking in a certain direction. Now, overall, I personally want my thoughts to be in a positive direction, to be moving me toward what I want. But naturally, other people don't necessarily want us thinking in a positive direction. There's a lot of entities outside of us that want us to be afraid, to want us to be nervous, to want us to think that we have to be rescued by them. I think the news media or the politicians, for example, right now in certain circumstances, want us to be afraid of one another, afraid of ourselves, afraid of, the last couple of years with COVID, even going outdoors or showing our face out in nature. So the biggest challenge with thought triggers is that we're thinking all the time. Our minds are always going. So almost anything can be a thought trigger for us. Sight, sound, noises, reminders of past events, how other people have treated us. We might not even realize that we've set a trigger for something because somebody yelled at us when we were, 3 years old, and it made us feel really bad and traumatized. And then all of a sudden somebody yells at us when we're 23 or 43 or 63 years old, and we have that automatic thought trigger response to being afraid, to cowering, to behaving in ways that aren't actually normal for us nowadays because we're grown-ups. So I'm going to read a list of just some of the different things that can be thought triggers and see if any of these you can relate to. The first thing that I found when I looked up thought triggers was a whole bunch of negative affirmations, right? Affirmations are supposed to be things we want, not things we don't want. But anything after an I am statement becomes creative, right? So things like I am a failure, I don't do anything right, I am useless, I am a burden, no one could love me, things like that. Those are emotional triggers as well as thought triggers and belief triggers. Remember, a belief is just something we think often or often enough, or it's associated with enough strong emotion that it becomes a belief of ours. So if we believe we're not good enough, if we believe we're a failure, all of a sudden our subconscious will show us all the times that we've made a mistake or failed or something didn't work right the first time, and help to label us as a failure. And that we get into that negative downward spiral of negative emotions or negative thoughts and negative beliefs. But we want to flip that switch and get into a positive spin. But any type of thing, any events, especially traumatic events or highly charged emotional events, link up the thoughts, beliefs, and the things that are going on around us at the time of that experience to, and anything can become a trigger then. It might be a smell that was in the air when you experience some kind of a strong emotional event. It might be someone's perfume. It might be someone's makeup. It might be something that you see visually. It could be something as simple as a pen or a certain type of pen that triggers us. So memories, other thoughts, body sensations can be triggers for our thoughts and things. Sight, sound, smells, taste, touches, anything associated with trauma, anniversary dates of certain things. Like my death day, I've turned into a positive event, but that could very easily have turned into a negative reminder of the bad things that can happen to us when we don't take care of ourselves. But instead, I've turned that into a second chance, a second birthday, and I actually celebrate that day now. But otherwise, anniversary dates of things like your divorce or your marriage or your birthday or the death of someone that you loved or were close to can all become thought triggers and take us in either a positive direction or a negative direction. It's always up to us, but I don't know. I noticed that most of my triggers are triggering negative things, triggering reminders of things from the past that don't necessarily paint myself in the best light. I don't know why that is. Maybe because so much around us is focused on the negative all the time that, even our words and our vocabulary, if you look at the words we use, the vocabulary, the feelings that we use to describe, and the words we use to describe the feelings we're feeling and the thoughts we're thinking, the vast majority of them are negative. I'm not a linguist. I couldn't explain why that is, but I think it's probably because we've lived for a long time in a fear-based mentality, and that it's up to us to search out and create the triggers that are positive for us, or take those negative triggers and erase them and replace them with positive triggers. Like with my death day, instead of that being a negative event, and a negative event that I remember every year, I've turned it into a celebration and a party, a celebration of life, so that it doesn't have any negative connotations to me anymore. So our action item today is just to think about and observe and notice the things that trigger your thoughts throughout the day today. I'm excited to try this. I haven't done this exercise, but I'm going to do this right along with you. I'm going to notice, okay, what happens when I catch myself going in a spiral either up or down. Like I said, I've got a cold, so maybe that's part of what's filtering, and I'm seeing and feeling more negative or more down and more under the weather. But we'll see throughout the day. Is it sights? Is it sounds? Is it people's tones of voice gets me a lot. Funny looks. I don't know about you, but I had one of those dads. He didn't even ever have to say anything. He would just give you that look, the dad look, and you knew you better straighten up and fly straight. So if somebody gives me a look like that, that'll trigger a thought of, okay, I need to straighten up. I'm not paying attention. Either to pay attention or to alter my behavior in a positive way because I'm kind of letting it slip. So action item, pay attention to your triggers today. Just share one thing that you observe or notice about the things that trigger your thoughts and beliefs. It might be the news, the media. I noticed that I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news since the 80s. Every once in a while, I'll watch a video or something online, but it totally triggers me emotionally, normally in a negative way. So I've learned that I need to turn it off because it doesn't do anything for me that makes me feel good. So if it doesn't make me feel good, I don't do it. If it does make me feel good, I do it. That's my guiding principle. My guiding question is, how does it make me feel? If it makes me feel bad, that means it's not for me. So that's it. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, or if you have any questions or insights about thought triggers, hit me up. Obviously not an expert in it, but I do find it a really fascinating subject. Anything that works on us as instantly as a trigger, I want to know more about. All right. Have a great day. I'll be with you tomorrow.